Bear.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is with great pleasure I rise to speak about education. I think when we look at the amount of money that's been spent, that's one way of evaluating things. The opposition have concentrated on trying to get a smoke and mirror exercise going so that there is a perpetual bewilderment, at least on that side of the House, about how much is actually spent and where that money is spent. We don't share those confused states. From our perspective, it's pretty straightforward. We put a great deal of money into education, $10.1 billion in the financial year, because we believe it is the most worthwhile investment we can make. If we want New Zealand to grow and prosper as a nation, we need to give our young people every opportunity to get the kind of education that will bring out the very best in what they are able to achieve as individuals. Recently, Mr. Chair, I took part in a gifted and talented children's political panel where we looked at the ways in which we look at how that group of people are assisted. And there are a lot of areas where the Ministry of Education and where this government is moving towards that is going to encourage those very talented and very gifted children to achieve their best. Rolling out broadband is one thing. The professional development that is put through for the teachers is very important, not only in English but also in the medium of Māori, and that is working very well. Early childhood education, a lot of people have spoken about and said that really what we're trying to do is to get as many young people with that sort of start as we possibly can. Our target was pretty well a straightforward one. We wanted 98% of children having participation in quality early childhood education by 2016. We're already at 95.7%. We are well on track for doing that. What needs to happen with our very young people is that they are made confident and made certain that they can, with diligence and application, get the best education that they possibly can. So yes, we have concentrated on trying to bring up to a standard our poorest performing young people, because they need that extra assistance. But that mustn't be at the expense of gifted and talented, or at the great mass of children who are really at a similar level with that similar curiosity and excitement. In my North Shore electorate over the past couple of years, I've seen firsthand what it's like. That sense of excitement as new classrooms are opened up and rolled out. The broadband comes through. These are quality teaching environments and quality learning environments. And yes, there are sliding doors, and yes, there are lime green swabs. In fact, the swabs are of all sorts of colours. That doesn't matter. These are places that are child-friendly and teacher-friendly. At Mairangi Bay Primary School, for example, where I opened a block which is set above the old classrooms, the teachers were ecstatic. That is the word that I would use. They were absolutely convinced that they had the best possible learning environment for the young people in their school. And they were right. Initially, when the designs came out, these same teachers were a little uncertain as to whether that kind of environment would suit their teaching methods and with the children. They were a little change averse, let's face it. That's not unknown in the teaching profession and in other professions as well. But really, when you look at the results and you look at the outcomes, you look at the broadband rollout, $700 million is being spent there. And that digital learning, which has been a very big part of what the Honourable Minister Nikki Kay was talking about earlier, and what we have had is at the forefront of where we want to make technology relevant to people's lives. This has worked in a way that I think has surprised many, because it has enabled young people to learn at their own pace, to learn from home. The education site, which is giftedtki.org.nz, which is the Ministry of Education site. It's just enjoyed an upgrade. There were 8 different modules in there for teaching advanced mathematics, for example, and the children were extraordinarily enthusiastic about that, and rightly so, because they were able to, in their own time, in their own homes, at their own pace, not have the frustrations of being perhaps held back by other children, but to be able to carve their own path and be stimulated to the level that they need to be, so that they're not bored and frustrated. They are able to share with each other via the medium of high technology their latest thoughts and ideas. And I think that's probably done an enormous amount to relieve that sense of isolation that some of these children have had, because they have been made to feel different and special, but not always in a good way. But I think that the various measures that we've been putting into education have worked extremely well. It is why this government has spent so much money, because we believe that that is the way for the future. Yes, we've spent money on infrastructure and health, but education has been one of our priorities, because we are a government that cares about families, that cares about children and cares about people, and we're not prepared to borrow big and go into a routine where we can't pay our debts back to fund our education and our other excellent policies. Thank you, Mr Chair.
Call Tim McIndoe.
Thank you, Mr Chair. It's great to follow on from my very energetic colleague Maggie Barry, the member for North Shore, and I think to